He took a knee as a count as basically a legal knockdown.
And if they do?
Yeah, but the ref said no, but the judge could still count it as a knockdown.
Oh.
For battery, domestic violence.
Put your hands behind your body.
You got handcuffs.
Hey,
Gervonta Davis has found himself in even more trouble following an investigation into his case with referee Steve Willis. The boxing world is buzzing once again. After the New York State Athletic Commission rejected Lamont Roach's request to overturn the majority draw decision, Roach took things a step further. He pushed for an investigation into what happened in Davis's corner and the discussions that took place with the referee. As a result of the inquiry, recordings of a conversation between Gervonta Davis and Steve Willis have surfaced, adding a new layer to the controversy.
Dude, what you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak.
Can't speak on that?
Yes.
He did some book though?
I can't speak.
No personal opinion, nothing?
Can't, especially you.
I don't know what happened with the referee. Maybe he was a little starstruck. Maybe he was a little, because he loves Tank. He loves New York. He loves the big lights. The referee with the eyes,
The recorded conversation reportedly contains incriminating details, though it has not been released to the public. However, it was enough to land Gervonta Davis in court, where he was required to defend himself. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach brought up another questionable moment from the 9th round, but the New York State Athletic Commission dismissed his claims. That decision now appears to have backfired, as their handling of the situation has only added to the controversy surrounding Davis. Many boxing professionals have shown little sympathy, with some arguing that the commission's actions, or lack thereof, may have played a role in the ongoing fallout.
Is that a DQ?
This is not basketball. This is not, this is not basketball where, wait, hold on, my ankle hurts. Hold on, let me take a timeout. You don't take timeouts in boxing. It just doesn't happen. Whether he had something in his eye or not, you have to fight. There's 3 minutes to fight. So if you take a knee, if you go to your corner, the rules are the rules. And I don't know what...
Boxing professionals have weighed in on the situation, with opinions divided. Some believe Gervonta Davis will get past this legal trouble without much consequence, while others aren't so sure about what lies ahead for him. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson has also shared his thoughts on Davis's court case and the backlash on social media. According to Stevenson, everything unfolded just as he expected it to.
Me versus Tank.
Yeah,
so it's like, with him, with his pride and his ego and it's hard for him to even, want to get on the phone with me, want to reach out or put all that other to the side. That nigga just got too much ego, I guess.
But where did the beef come from? Because it seemed like he really don't like you.
Nah, he don't.
But why? What?
Shakur Stevenson said he wouldn't make fun of Gervonta Davis for his legal troubles, even though Davis had mocked his win over Josh Padley. Stevenson stated that he was still ready to fight and wanted to make the match happen. However, with Davis dealing with legal issues, fights against Stevenson or a rematch with Lamont Roach may not happen anytime soon. Even though Davis mentioned in his post-fight interview that he wanted a rematch with Roach, his legal problems could delay his return to the ring. Meanwhile, Stevenson offered Roach another option, saying that if Roach couldn't get a rematch with Davis, he would give him a title shot. Stevenson made it clear that while they are on good terms, he would still be open to facing Roach in the ring.
What did y'all do? Because y'all was cool at one point, right?
Danny Garcia's father shared his thoughts on Gervonta Davis's situation, suggesting that while it may seem like a major setback, it might not be the end of his career. Davis now has a blemish on his boxing record, has dropped in the pound-for-pound rankings, and is also facing serious legal troubles that could impact his future in the sport. Speaking to Fight Hype after the fight, Garcia Sr. shared his thoughts on Davis's struggles. He acknowledged the pressure that comes with being a top athlete, saying that there's a lot happening behind the scenes that fans don't see. He mentioned that personal issues, family responsibilities, and other concerns can weigh heavily on a fighter. According to him, Davis has been at the top for years, and having a bad night is something that can happen to anyone.
Nah, I thought Lamont won.
Who you got one?
Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
Sixth Division World Champion Oscar De La Hoya has now joined the growing list of those questioning the controversial ninth-round incident. In a conversation with Colin McGuigan on Only TV, De La Hoya focused on referee Steve Willis's decision-making. He pointed out that when Davis took a knee after being hit by Roach, it should have been ruled a knockdown, which would have resulted in a point deduction. According to De La Hoya, the judges should have awarded the round to Roach based on the proper application of the rules.
I mean, you gotta understand, can't underestimate the underdog, bro. He's hungry, you know what I mean? They wasn't giving him no credit. They were making us see it was a slouch, you could run over. You can't do that in boxing. Anything can happen. You can have a great night, believe that. You gotta believe in your soul, and I think the kid was in there with
Oscar De La Hoya expressed his surprise over how the fight was handled, especially by referee Steve Willis. The 52-year-old former boxer noted that Willis is an experienced and professional referee, making it even more shocking that he allowed the incident to happen. Having worked with Willis in Golden Boy Promotions, De La Hoya expected a more consistent performance from him. However, what stood out most to De La Hoya was Lamont Roach's impressive display. He acknowledged that Roach put Davis in serious trouble, despite Davis being a fantastic fighter. I just feel that Roach did extremely well against Davis. He was on his game, and it was a great fight, De La Hoya said.
Should they have counted it as a knockdown?
He took a knee
In your
because
opinion?
something was wrong. That he thought it was wrong that he could do that. He probably thought he was still in the amateurs. You know, in the amateur, take a knee.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that you do sometimes. Go flashback when you was younger and you think you could still get away with it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in on Gervonta Davis's legal troubles and the New York State Athletic Commission's decision regarding his fight with Lamont Roach. Hearn disagreed with the commission's choice not to overturn the majority draw, believing the ruling was unfair. However, he expects a rematch to happen. According to Hearn, the controversy could have been avoided entirely if the ninth-round incident, where Davis took a voluntary knee without being knocked down, had been properly addressed.
Who won Tank or Lamont?
Everyone's got an opinion now.
This is my opinion.
Sure.
It was a great fight. It was a close fight. Depending on what they do with that decision of taking the knee, depending if the commission reverses.
According to Dan Raphael of Fight Freaks Unite, Lamont Roach's lawyer officially appealed for the fight result to be changed in his favor, either by decision, knockout, or disqualification. Eddie Hearn acknowledged the controversy, but didn't expect the New York State Athletic Commission to overturn the result. Speaking to Fight Hype on Tuesday, Hearn stated, "No, I don't think they do." He also explained that while the commission can review the fight, it doesn't have the authority to order a rematch. That decision lies with the World Boxing Association, which oversees the lightweight title. However, Hearn still expects a rematch to take place despite the commission's ruling.
Yeah.
Can you just clear it up, Oscar? A knee being taken, is that a point deduction?
Yes, and that's the fact. A point should be deducted if you take a knee. It's a fact. It's in the rule book, right? The fact that they didn't take it away, then that's where the controversy is, right? It's not did Gervonta get hit? Was he dazed?
Eddie Hearn stated that all indications point to the rematch happening, saying, "I think it's pretty much done." He also addressed the ninth-round controversy, arguing that Davis's decision to take a knee should have been ruled a knockdown. If you take a knee in a fight and touch down while punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown, Hearn explained. Regarding calls for Davis to be disqualified, Hearn disagreed. "I heard people saying he should be disqualified because he went back to his corner. I don't buy that. I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation."
Right. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner." I don't.
During a ProBox TV panel discussion on Wednesday, experts analyzed the New York State Athletic Commission's review of referee Steve Willis's handling of Lamont Roach Jr.'s knockdown of Gervonta Davis last Saturday. Veteran boxing writer Dan Rafael, who runs Fight Freaks Unite, weighed in on the controversy, saying, "If they do one thing differently, Lamont Roach wins the fight." Rafael argued that Willis's poor officiating cost Roach a championship and the chance to hand Davis his first loss. "A lot went wrong that night, and all of it was against Lamont Roach," he added.
That, to be honest with you, I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, "I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night." And
regulators across the country weighed in on Wednesday, stating that New York Commission head Matthew DeLalio is in a difficult position as he tries to address the officiating mistake. The issue stems from referee Steve Willis initially starting an 8-count on Gervonta Davis after multiple punches from Lamont Roach, but then stopping it. Davis took a knee and walked to his corner, where co-trainer Calvin Ford wiped his face with a towel. Davis later claimed that he felt a burning sensation in his eye from a hair chemical and was looking for relief. Some believe DeLalio should deduct a point from Davis for these actions and declare Roach the new WBA lightweight champion after their majority draw. Others argue that this wouldn't be fair to Davis, a known knockout artist, as he might have fought more aggressively in the final rounds had he realized a knockdown was officially counted against him.
hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Do you think New York State overturns it?
No. No, I don't think they do.
So,
man, I was surprised, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought it was a 10-8. Like, that's what really was going on. Like, but like, I was confused when he looked at the ref, but when he took the knee, I was like, and I grasped the concept that he was on the ground. I was like, that's a 10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. When I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
Did you think?
The panel, which included retired California referee Jack Rice, trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards, boxing writer Dan Rafael, and ProBox TV analysts Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi, all agreed that Roach's bent knee should have been ruled a knockdown. ProBox TV founder Gary Jonas, who advises Roach, officially appealed to the New York Commission, arguing that Roach should be declared the winner. He pointed out several moments where Willis could have deducted a point from Davis, failing to call the knockdown, Davis turning his back and walking to his corner, and trainer Calvin Ford stepping into the ring mid-round. Edwards emphasized a key issue, stating that while mistakes happen, they often seem to favor the A-side fighter. He also noted that Willis has had a strong career, but this moment appeared to catch him off guard.
Eddie, now for an immediate rematch if they don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the reality is can the state call for an immediate rematch? I don't believe they can, the commission. It's really up to the governing body. I mean, the commission can overturn a decision or rule on a decision, but can they order a rematch? That really has to come from the governing body.
The towel in his hand.
To me, I didn't think he was stopping the fight because I was so focused on the ref counting. Like, I didn't think he was stopping the fight, but then again, like, when I look at him in the corner, I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know now. I just don't know what's going on, besides the fact that I want this to be a knockdown because it should be.
And you asked him, right? Why you stopped counting?
Yeah, I asked him, literally. I said, why you stop counting?
Now, to Lamont's point, you will see it and you will hear it, him ask the referee to keep counting here.
Referee Jack Rice explained that officials have some discretion in how they manage a fight, but Paulie Malignaggi pushed back, stating, "You cannot call your own timeout." Dan Rafael also reported that there was an opportunity to review the replay of the knockdown, but it was never used. This led Chris Algieri and Malignaggi to agree that the best solution would be an immediate rematch at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Speaking on his podcast, Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts on the refereeing and gave his honest opinion when asked about the controversial moment in round 9.
Wasn't in round number 9. Gervonta Davis takes a knee, landed a right hand, then 2 jabs afterward. What were you thinking when this happened? Were you surprised as everybody else? What was on your mind?
Teddy Atlas didn't hold back in his criticism of the referee, suggesting that he may not have been competent enough for the job and even raising the possibility of bias. "Bad refs. We need better refs, more educated refs, trained refs, whatever you want to call them, Atlas said. While he stopped short of outright accusing the referee of dishonesty, he emphasized the need for officials who can make the right call with confidence. I don't think that ref would have let Roach get away with what he let Tank Davis get away with. Why? Because Tank's a star.
Especially when I seen the other coach on the ring, and the inspector told me one time I got to look over there to see it. He tell me sit down. I'm yelling at him. Who you talking to? I'm coaching. Leave me alone. And he let this guy get up the ring and wipe a spider down the middle of the ring.
You even hear morals.
Yeah.
Atlas continued, pointing out Davis's star power and the influence it may have had on the officiating. I think he set a record for the most fans ever at Barclays Center. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe they hit a new attendance record. Maybe even a gate record too. They've had concerts, fights, and basketball games there, and this event pulled big numbers. He emphasized that Davis's popularity plays a role in how he's treated. He's a star. He brings people, has a big fan base, and delivers solid pay-per-view numbers. I don't know the exact numbers for this one, but he's one of those guys who consistently pulls in strong pay-per-view figures. All of that comes with him.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I am, but I'm ashamed of myself. I am so cynical, but this sport has made me cynical. I'm sorry. I don't see anyone's going to reprimand this referee. I don't,
Atlas didn't hold back on his criticism of how the fight was officiated. When a referee allows a fighter to take a knee, which isn't a rule in boxing, and doesn't count it as a knockdown, that's a problem. That should have been a 10-8 round, but it wasn't. He got hit with a jab just before that moment. He made it clear that his issue wasn't with Davis as a fighter. I'm not trying to go after Tank Davis. People already say I defend him too much or hype him up. And look, he is great. He's a complete fighter. He's a puncher inside and outside, patient, defensively responsible, has fast hands, puts punches together well, goes to the body, counters, sets traps. He does it all. But in this case, he was wrong. And he got away with it because the sport allowed him to. Atlas then turned his focus to the bigger issue. There's nothing wrong with the fighters. It's the people running this sport that have a lot wrong with them. We see these things happen, and we shouldn't keep seeing them. It's got to stop.
We need a national commission. That's the only thing I could think of, but we're not getting one right now. But the last thing I want to say to put a bow on this one, Bud, we talked about the controversial part, but I want to finish with the great part. That was high-level boxing.
Teddy Atlas didn't hold back in his assessment of the situation. A referee can't just let something that's not in the rule book slide. Tank gets hit with a jab, and a second or two later, he takes a knee. Guess what? I'm sorry, that's a knockdown. If your knee touches the canvas at that moment, it's a knockdown. This isn't football. There are no fair catches here, you know what I mean. He referenced Terence Crawford's reaction to the controversy. Even Terence Crawford, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, top 3 with Inoue and Usyk, came out and said, I didn't know that was a rule. I guess I was sleeping when they passed that one. I'll add, he didn't say this, but maybe he was out doing road work or something. He must have been busy when that rule, which isn't a rule, came up. Atlas then made a colorful analogy. This isn't the Indianapolis 500. You can't go into pit row because your oil needs changing, your tires need swapping, or you need grease wiped from your eye. There's no pit row in boxing. Tank went down on a knee, and Roach, give him credit, could have gone after him. Maybe he should have, because the saying is defend yourself at all times, right? He would have been within his rights to attack.
Everything that goes with it. And the contrary to what a lot of people think, oh, that was just slugging, that was just fighting. No, that was high-level boxing. That was the sweet science at its best. At its best. I mean, a lot of people think sweet science with this separation, and you...
Teddy Atlas continued his breakdown, emphasizing how unusual the referee's handling of the situation was. I've seen fighters hit guys who are turning or walking away. The referee doesn't stop it unless the bell rings or he interjects. You have the right to hit that guy. That's fighting. Roach had the right. He was a gentleman, a sportsman, and I give him credit. But when Tank turned, Roach could have hit him with a left hook or whatever. He's a southpaw, so maybe a straight left. Whatever it was his right to pursue and throw. Maybe he could have caught him and knocked him down while he was turning. It wouldn't have been the nicest thing to see, but he wouldn't have been wrong. Atlas then doubled down on the controversy. Who was wrong? Tank and the referee who allowed him to take a knee, go to his corner, get whatever was obstructing his vision wiped away, and then go back to work. If the referee scores that a 10-8 round, which it technically should have been, even though I know he wasn't hurt, Roach doesn't get a draw. He wins the title. He also noted the impact on those who bet on the fight. A lot of people with a plus 900 ticket are feeling pretty good right now.
It grabs your attention. Oh, wow, look at that guy. He's on the outside. Yeah, he slipped 4 punches. Bop, bop, bop. He threw back, then he was gone. He was gone. Where'd he go? Yeah, wow, that's sweet science. Yeah, but when you're inside in a dangerous place,
Interview 21. Teddy Atlas concluded his comments by highlighting how Roach turned the tables on Davis. He bullied the bully. Really, he did. It's like in the schoolyard. You see the bully having his way all the time. Then one day, a guy stands up to him, and suddenly, the bully's not acting the same, not as aggressive. He shared a personal anecdote to drive his point home. My cousin had a saying that fits here. When you depend a little on intimidation, but then the guy you're trying to intimidate doesn't get intimidated and becomes the intimidator, that flips it. You're not going to hear that from many people.
You don't get scorched. That is high-level boxing. That is the sweetest of the sweet.
It remains to be seen what lies ahead for John Davis, but according to reports, he has been hit with heavy fines and punishments and may be required to complete long hours of community service. If care is not taken, the WBA lightweight champion could lose his belt, as he might be forced to take some time away from the ring. That's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, moments, events, and major fights, stay connected with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on quality content. Until next time, peace out.